I took some time off, not only from this show, but from my normal gigs.
Right.
Christmas came up, obviously. Everybody had their time off at Christmas, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something with my nephews.
Right.
And so I had made arrangements to spend time with my nephews and take them downtown Chicago.
Right.
And I got us some suites down at the Pendry Hotel for Christmas evening, or rather Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And we went down there and spent 2 nights in downtown Chicago in the River North area, and met up with Sal on Christmas evening and had dinner together with him. And the weather was nice and mild.
Right.
So we were able to go out on the river walk and on Christmas Day and walk the river walk and kind of check out the architecture and the scenery downtown. We were hoping on Christmas Day the shenanigans down there would not be a problem.
Right.
So even though there was a shooting that took place Christmas evening, or
Near
Christmas
you?
Eve rather,
Near
it
where you
wasn't
were?
far. It wasn't
Okay.
far. But the shooting happened down there. We didn't see it or hear it or anything, but
Right.
it happened. I think 8 people got shot and killed down there or some
Oh,
shit.
Jesus.
So you have to be concerned about that kind of stuff,
Right.
because it just gets ridiculous with people and their nonsense.
Right. No, it
But
definitely does.
but it was good to connect with my nephews and spend some time with them, and enjoy the time together and seeing Sal. And we had some cocktails and had some good food, and like I said, the weather was decent.
Right.
And then New Year's Eve, I was invited to a kind of an exclusive New Year's Eve dinner,
Okay.
and I went to that, and that was good. And then I headed over to Ohio
Right.
on New Year's Day, and I spent a couple days in Ohio. I got to see some friends, some old high school friends. Of course, I visited with my dad, who's going to be 97 in March,
Right.
and saw some of my family, and was able to just get around and do some visiting, which was very cool.
That's good.
I got to hang out with Mean Metal X a little bit. He came to the hotel where I was staying and joined me and another friend at the bar, and we kind of had some good laughs.
Right.
And I came back home on Saturday, last Saturday.
Okay.
So for that, it was an enjoyable time, and I'm glad people were available to come hang out with me. And I got to see people that I haven't seen in a long time. In fact, a good friend of mine that I went to high school with, actually, he was my best man at my wedding.
Okay.
I haven't seen him since 1998,
Right.
98 or 99.
Oh, wow. 35
And
years.
every time I came into
5
town,
years.
yeah, it's been a long time.
Right.
Every time I would come into town, he's a married guy, got kids, the whole thing. So it was always, oh, well, I got this going on, or I got that, or I'm doing this with the family, or I gotta, whatever. So it's always been, I gotta do something else, and finally, he showed up at the hotel,
Right.
to my surprise. I honestly didn't think he was going to come,
Right.
just because of all the, excuses for the various reasons why he couldn't meet up with me at points. And he actually showed up at the hotel, and me and Mean Metal X and him, we all sat and, just kind of had a pretty fun time.
That's cool.
Lots of laughs. My friend Evan, not only did did I go to high school with him, but I was a busboy at Bob Evans for a couple of years from
Sure.
the age of 16 until I went to college, graduated from high school and went on to college. And he worked with me at Bob Evans. And another girl that I went to high school with, Nancy, she came over and took me out to dinner, and she worked at Bob Evans. So it was kind of like not only was it seeing people from high school, but it was like seeing people that I used to work with. And we were just trading some stories about some of the shenanigans that used to go on
Right.
at Bob Evans. This was back when you could have fun at work.
Sure.
And, some of the stuff that was said or some of the things that we did would not fly today.
Right. Of course not.
We were just kind of relating some stories and laughing about a manager that we had at Bob Evans. He was in the Marine Corps, so he was this big burly guy, and he would always call the waitresses at Bob Evans hookers.
Right.
and so every time, like, he'd be sitting at the counter or something, and one of the waitresses needed to get into the storeroom to get some supplies or something.
Right.
And the storeroom was always locked up, so they needed to get the storeroom keys from him. And they tell him, "Hey, Mike, I need to get the keys to get into the storeroom." And he goes, "Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute." And he'd be talking to somebody or doing some paperwork or something, and they'd kind of get impatient. And he wore his keys on a little clip on his belt.
Okay.
So they would come over there and try to distract him and try to unclip the keys off of his belt loop and try to take the keys while he's sitting there.
Great.
And he would catch him in the act, and he'd turn around and go, "Get off me, hooker."
It's funny.
But it was a lot of fun. So I was glad to get away, and I took care of some business as I had told you. I took some time to do a little bit of financial investing.
Right.
And I got that taken care of. So I was able to make some investments while I was off.
Nice.
And that was, that worked out well.
Sure.
And, here we are. We're back at it again.
Yes, we are. We're right back to it. So what do you got planned for the new year? And, I never was this guy. I want to preface this. I never have been this guy. But this is the year I'm deciding to be the guy to actually I set a goal or two and shoot toward them for the new year. I'm going to be the stereotypical douche that kisses his girlfriend as the ball hits zero and fucking, this is what I'm doing in 2026. So do you have anything that you're trying to do, improve, whatever for the new year?
Well, I kind of started my improvement back in Thanksgiving. I talked about this before, we left, but I've been hitting the elliptical every day, and getting a little bit of cardio in on a daily basis, and it's really made a big difference.
Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't drink cocktails during the show anymore.
I did not notice that. No.
I haven't done that in probably about little over 3 months.
Are you trying to stop drinking or just drinking during the show?
Just not doing that during the show.
All right.
Like I had some wine last night, but that was about it.
Okay.
But so just kind of improving that way. I've made the improvements prior to the new year. I'm not into the whole resolutions. This year I'm going to do this, or this year I'm going to do that. My one priority that sticks out in my head right now is obviously the book.
Right, sure.
Getting that done and completed and available later in this year. So that's, that to me is number one priority outside of the normal stuff that you have priorities for. But
why?
As far as, health, finances, personal affairs, I got pretty much most of that in line. It never really has ever gotten out of line, but there's always room for improvement.
Right.
And like I said, I started that back around Thanksgiving.
Okay.